So I told y'all I had planned on reading through some of Project 2025 each day or several times a week. I didn't get a chance to today, but this article from The Guardian is super relevant because Republicans want Trump to distance himself from Project 2025, and obviously that is quite silly considering the architects of Project 2025 actually worked with him in his first administration. He does know the Heritage Foundation, so this is quite silly. I'm about to read through this article. I am at the gym, so if you hear anything in the background, it's because I'm at the gym, so be prepared for that. Okay, but this article from The Guardian. Donald Trump's preposterous efforts to disavow Project 2025, a right-wing blueprint for a radical takeover of the U.S. government if the former president is reelected in November, have been derided by former Republican figures. The Project 2025 plan includes calls for replacing civil servants with Trump loyalists, eliminating the education department. We definitely need to talk about that more. Putting the Justice Department under the president's thumb and banning the smemortion pill, even though that just went through the Supreme Court and was actually upheld by the Supreme Court, which is extra conservative. Democrats have made concerted efforts to say the 900-plus page document from the conservative Heritage Foundation think tank would be representative of a second Trump presidency. But although it was written by former members of Trump's first administration, and he regularly echoes its policies in his speeches, last week Trump tried to disown the initiative. Yeah, right. Nobody believed that. Posting on his Truth Social website, the presumptive Republican nominee claimed to know nothing about Project 2025, and I have no idea who is behind it. He added, I disagree with some of the things they're saying, and some of the things they're saying are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. Anything they do, I wish them luck, but I have nothing to do with them, even though he said he doesn't know anything about it. Olivia Troy, a former White House advisor to Mike Pence, who sat in on policy sessions during Trump's first presidency, said Trump's attempt to distance himself from Project 2025 was driven by recognition that its deeply controversial policy prescription and could sink his election bid. This is preposterous if you look at the collaborators and the authors of this plan, she told CNN when asked whether Trump's denial was credible. A lot of these people served in Trump's cabinet during his administration. There are people that I worked with. I sat in on those policy meetings with them. Troy identified various figures, including John McEntee, who was Trump's director of White House personnel, Stephen Miller, a senior advisor in his first administration, Ben Carson, the Housing and Urban Development Secretary in his cabinet, and Ken Cuccinelli, a former Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security, as among the project's leading architects. Carson has been out there on the campaign trail with Trump, she noted. I think what this is telling us is that Donald Trump knows that what is written in this plan is so extreme that it is damaging to his possibility of getting elected, and that's what he's concerned about. Exactly how do you disagree with something you know nothing about or have no idea who is behind saying or doing the thing you disagree with, said former RNC chairman and current MSNBC host Michael Steele in echoing Troy's derision. And how exactly don't you know that Project 2025 Director Paul Dans served as your chief of staff at the Office of Personnel Management, and Associate Director Spencer Cretion served as your special assistant and associate director of presidential personnel. Among the plan's more drastic proposals are to fire thousands of permanent civil servants and replace them with hired conservative Trump loyalists, dismantling the federal education department, asserting presidential power over the Department of Justice, which is nominally independent, and a ban on the smemortion pill. The Democrats, currently in the throes of a fierce internal debate over whether to retain Joe Biden as their presidential candidate, have settled on trying to make Project 2025 a household phrase in a drive to illustrate what a second Trump presidency would mean. Troy said the project should be seen as a threat, not just to Democrats, but to moderate conservatives too. If you go through and really read through this plan, this is a complete overreach by the federal government on our individual liberties. It talks about law enforcement and how they're going to use the federal law enforcement in local states and local cities with no oversight, because there's no oversight when they do that. They've learned all the lessons during the first Trump term, and that is what is frightening here. I think we need to be paying attention to this, and no amount of distancing by Donald Trump should be believed. I sat in on policy making meetings with these people. Trump surrogates have tried to back up his effort to separate himself from the project, with Marco Rubio, a Republican senator from Florida who has been touted as a possible running mate for Trump, claiming in a Sunday interview with CNN that there is no connection between Project 2025 and Trump. Think tanks do think tank stuff. They come up with ideas, they say things, he said, but our party's candidate for president is Donald Trump. That is very clever, but it's not going to work, because they have literally said in Project 2025, whoever becomes the next conservative president, this is the plan for them, the game plan. They cannot separate Trump from this. He also dismissed the importance of comments by the Heritage Foundation's president, Kevin Roberts, who said in an interview with Steve Bannon's War Room podcast last week that conservative-driven Second American Revolution will be bloodless if the left allows it to be, viewed by many Democrats as an implied threat of political violence. I literally should find that video again, because these people are literally saying these things, that they are really going to go so far as an American revolution. This is serious, and so many of these right-wing people don't even read through this stuff, and they don't know how they're going to be impacted. He's not running for president. Our candidate's Donald Trump. I didn't see Donald Trump say that. The denials appear to be undermined by close studies of the personnel involved in the document's formulation. Of the 38 people involved in writing and editing of Project 2025, 31 of them were nominated to positions in Trump's administration or transition team, meaning 81% of the document's creators held former roles in Trump's presidency. There is zero chance that he can actually distance himself from this. They will be in his administration as well, I am totally sure. And like I said in a video a couple of days ago, 67% of his first year, it was Heritage Foundation policies that were passed. He is connected to these people. And regardless of what he says, he is pushing their agenda, and their agenda is quite extreme. So like I said, I will continue to read directly from that document. I'll probably get back to that tomorrow, but this was interesting in that this article came out today where he's trying to pull back. But for that reason, we have got to keep reading this document aloud. We have got to keep pushing this content on our various platforms. It needs to be spread all around, because there are some people who are trying to opt out of voting because they don't like Joe Biden, and I get it. He is not great. But what I keep saying, I will vote for a half-dead goat. I will vote for a half-dead goat before letting Trump get in the top spot, because the top spot means that this Project 2025, they're going to be trying to push this through. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. If you're a content creator, keep pushing this type of content. If you're not a content creator, share the videos of the people making content on this. And we will tackle the Department of Education and what he plans on doing with that. We're going to continue to hammer home that they want to ban contraception and all of the other things that they want to do. Join the conversation, like, comment, share. Let's keep this conversation going.